Good day, fellow investors. One of the most common questions I get is what broker and how to select a broker. Now, I have been on YouTube for almost 5 years now, and I never ever made a video about brokers, and I also never said click on that link to get a free share or something like that, because I really wanted to be sure what I am talking about when it comes to brokers, because making a mistake when selecting a broker leads to a lot of fuss down the road, so you have to be very careful for that. In this video, I'm going to try to give you the most value I can by discussing the brokers I use, what are my experience also with other brokers, 5 things to think about when it comes to selecting a broker. And now let's cut to the chase. What is the best broker for you? Well, all of them might be the best brokers for you. So you have to really see what are your requirements and what the brokerages offer, and see how that fits you now and also in the future. That's also the key. How will you evolve as an investor in the future if you have it all under the same broker for the same cost? Then it is a benefit. Just a disclaimer when we start, I get an email for affiliate links from brokerages practically every few days. All of them have contacted me, but I was always pushing them off because I wanted to be sure to, let's say, get something just from the brokerages that I use. I currently use Saxo Bank and I don't like it. The fees, especially the currency fees for international investing, are outrageous. So I'm going back to interactive brokers for my main portfolios. So in the link in the description of this video, there will be a link to interactive brokers. If you click on that link, I get a small fee. So by just clicking on that link and checking out interactive brokers, you're also supporting the channel. From 2022, I will be using interactive brokers as my main brokerage, and we'll discuss later why I'm going from one to other broker, which I also think will give you value by just analyzing, okay, what is for me and what not. The other broker I use for a Dutch account, that's on my mother's name because she's Dutch, and everything gets easier tax related for my large portfolio with 21, 22 positions, more diversified. So everything then solved, I don't have to do the accounting, nothing, everything goes automatically, is the Hero or the Giro or however you want to pronounce it, a Dutch broker, and we'll also discuss that, and also in the description there is also a link for them. So 2 brokers that I will use, only that I have affiliate links, and we'll also discuss the others that have also offered me mountains for affiliate links, but I don't like to promote things that I don't use or don't like. So let's immediately start with the 5 things you have to consider when it comes to selecting a broker. Costs, technology, execution, but also hidden fees, that where I got, let's say, screwed with Saxo Bank. Everything nice, I didn't read that into detail, so a lot of fees that are not hidden, of course, but are there. Then we have to make the decision whether you will hold the stocks in your name or let the broker hold the stocks for you. What happens if the broker goes bankrupt? Of course, discussing the investing style, how complex will your investment style get in the future, how international you want to be, and then, of course, tax-related issues. Do you have to do the accounting and the tax reporting, or the brokers do it themselves for you? So let's start with the costs. Now, many brokers out there discuss 0 fees, no trading costs, so 0, 0, 0, and yes, there is no direct trading fee, but some brokers, and this is from Robinhood, then sell that order flow to somebody else that takes your order and then compares it to what is most profitable for them. So there might be an issue that you don't get the most valuable option for you, but those are really cents, millicents on the dollar, so I don't think that that should be an issue. Also, the Hero, the Giro, has added a free option trading, but then they say, okay, there is no commission fee, but we have some costs and you pay those costs. So all in all, the free trading, I think it's a benefit for investors. Even if the order might be a little bit slower or not being exact, I think it's much better to lose, I don't know, 0.05% in the order there, not getting the best price, than to pay, I think when I was starting investing, I would pay 1.25% of the transaction for buying stocks. That was 20 years ago. So now, if it's 0.02 or 0.03, it is not that relevant, I think. Just to mention here, the hero said that they are not selling order flow to others. They have some commissions, other fees, costs, etc., but it's still ridiculously low. If you pay €0.50 for a transaction or something like that, that's extremely cheap. Also, interactive brokers, mostly for US exchanges, they have now free trading. Similarly, Charles Schwab, all these brokers, so that's a huge benefit for us investors. So you can really go zero commission there. Of course, Fidelity also, but they have international trading where you have to pay so much for the trade or this or that. And now it comes also to the question of how reputable is your broker so that you can sleep well at night. If you have a few millions and you are okay with paying $50 per transaction, international transaction to Fidelity, then that is really no issue. 50 on a few millions, reputable broker, and you are okay. Also, some brokers have custody fees, so that's also something you have to think about. You have to think about whether you want the stocks you buy to be held in your name, Sven Carlin owns X, or to held in the street's name where the stocks are in an account, custody account by the broker, that in the name on the broker, but it is linked to you. So the broker holds the books and says, okay, Sven Carlin holds this, but on the top name there is the broker. Some brokers use those stocks to lend them to shorts. Some brokers tell them that they lend them to shorts and then give you half of the fees like interactive brokers. Some brokers do that, don't even tell you. So those are all the details with different brokers. But the question is, if I pay a custody fee to hold them in my name, what are the benefits and what are the cons? The benefits are you own directly, so you can likely vote in your name, but even most brokers, even if they held in their name, you just click and you can vote there if there is an issue for voting. The cons are the fee, the custody fees that, I don't know, it's 0.1% per month with one broker that I used here. So that accumulates to a lot of money over the long term. So I have looked deep into this and I have read a little bit around. You can go to the Securities Exchange Commission, read about that more. And I have found that most brokers, so just check that with the broker, interactive brokers, the hero, all have the stocks in a separate entity. So this is the brokerage, this is the separate entity that doesn't trade on its own account, so really can't go bankrupt. And this is the broker that collects the fees and uses this entity. It's a shtick thing for the hero, similarly with interactive broker. So even if the broker goes bankrupt, all here is under the law protected in your own name. So maybe some other broker will just take them over and still you have everything under your account. So 40 years interactive brokers has been around. It's really unlikely that there will be issues. Plus, there are insurance, some brokers are insured, depending on where and what. So as long as they don't trade in their own name, like JP Morgan, Goldman, do, and we have had the financial crisis thanks to that. And then if they hold and they go bankrupt, then it's a little bit a scratch on your head. You have to be careful about that. So if those are separate entities, I think there shouldn't be issues over the long term, and if brokers don't do proprietary trading. So can interactive brokers go broke? Of course, any company can go broke, but there are no brokers making proprietary bets against you, for example, with interactive brokers. And then again, how we handle client assets. I think most brokers do it like this, but always read and check. So segregated in special bank or custody accounts. The client assets are available to be returned to the client in the event of a default by or bankruptcy of the broker. So this is regulated from the SEC, from the European Commission, from everyone. So you should be okay there. So after years of looking, checking, paying also the custody fees to hold things in my name, I think it's better to just have a reputable broker that has separated accounts. Don't pay a fee for that, and then you get things cheaper, which is then again a benefit for us investors, especially thanks to today's technology. Now, when it comes to investing, whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or expert, the path is usually from beginner you will get to expert. That's how it works. And then if you have a broker for beginners, that's really good. One day when you go higher and higher, oh, I want to trade options, I want this, it's always best to start with a proper broker. So you have to always think also about the complexity and the offerings that those brokers have. Similarly, maybe you invest only in the US now, but when you become more expert, you see those valuations. Oh, what's there around? I want to diversify my dollar exposure. What's there around the world? So you might also want to look at international brokers. And if you look at Robinhood, that has been a frenzy last year, I think, then you look that doesn't support the following assets: foreign stocks, not even bonds. Okay, you don't want to invest in bonds, so that's a positive now. But okay, stocks that trade on foreign exchanges. So you limit yourself to the most expensive markets, which are the US markets. Similarly, okay, eToro, just 2,694 stocks. So it's not much, even if it's simple, etc. Also, a lot of people ask me about making an eToro account so that you can follow me, but I'm extremely limited by this, and this is simply something I cannot do. If we go, for example, to interactive brokers, another reason why I will select it, you have really everything in the States, Europe, Asia Pacific, global. So most markets, Russia, whatever you want, so really gives you a lot of optionality, so you can take advantage of whatever goes on in the world. And I've seen this now, so they have also India stocks, so that's also something to check how it works. So also you don't have to worry about delisting, relisting, so if something is not traded anymore in US, then it can trade here in Hong Kong. So that's again something. If something is sanctioned, then you have to sell it for US citizens, for example, but that's something that also happens maybe a few times in your lifetime. And now another thing to think about is, of course, taxes. If you're from the Netherlands, the hero makes everything there for you. Also low cost there, also transaction fee currencies. So that's always a positive. So you'll have to really ask the broker and check the details, which one does best taxes for you. I have my stocks under my company, so my accountant, I just do normal accounting for that. So I have an accountant for the tax, and then we report taxes to the authority of where my company resides. So that's then how I make it. So you have to see, okay, am I going to do that myself? Am I going to ask the broker for help there? So you have to see with the broker, depending on the jurisdiction you live in, but that's also something to think about. Also about special pension accounts, tax-free accounts. So most brokers in those countries offer those opportunities depending on where you live. So you might also want to check those. Now, another emphasis on international stocks, why I am going for an international broker and why I'm saying my story, so I hope to add value for you there. The thing is that valuations in the world are pretty different, and the world is also pretty different. If we look at the growth of the middle class expected, so Indonesia will go from 30 to 40%. This is a lot of people. India from 20 to 80%. On 1.5 billion, 60%. So that's, plus if we look at performance, if we look at the world with except the United States at the performance, it didn't do really much over the last 7-8 years. European luxury goods, US growth, Asia tech, okay, really exploded, but this means there might be opportunities. There are opportunities here too, but risk reward, there are opportunities there too. Also, valuations, if you look at emerging markets, valuations are half what are those now in the US, and this is for Japan. You can see the average valuations and the current valuation. So Japan didn't have great returns over the last decades, and you can see that high valuations, when those lead to lower valuations, that is always an issue. And that is why I have selected my broker. Now I'll start shifting my positions and start opening that. That's always a hassle. You can do that, you can ask them, you pay a fee, and you can also transfer your positions. Just contact your broker, open an account, and I think also testing brokerages is good. Today they don't have monthly fees or something, most of the brokers, so you can just test, see how it goes. Interactive brokers is powerful, so over 2022 I'll make a few videos more on how to trade, how to exchange currency, how to trade with currency exchanges, things like that, to make it more simple. I can't promise when, but I know I'll do that as soon as I open an account and start shuffling towards there. So, as I said, when I lived in the Netherlands, I opened the Hero account, so that's also a broker I use for the Dutch account, and it's all good, but for example, the Hero has others manage their flow. I don't know if JP Morgan or Morgan Stanley, I don't know. So when China Telecom, a stock in China, got sanctioned by the US, nobody that has the Hero could buy it. So there are some limitations. I think they can't trade in Russia, which is again depending on how expert you are and how global you want to go. But it's pretty simple broker. So if we just type Tesla here, there you have it. I'm not filming now in trading hours, so if you just click there, and you can see you can place an order, just put the number of stocks, the price you want to pay in dollars. They tell it in euros how much it is, so I can't buy Tesla now for $100, but we'll be able to buy that one day. Anyway, so no fees, just small commissions, so it is good. You also traded in Europe, so very easy. Everything is managed by them, and that is also an option. It has some limitations as their flows goes to US regulators and brokers. As I said, if you want to support the channel, you can click on the links down below, check the brokers out, see how those fit you, and of course we will keep talking about international investments because that is the cheap thing to do now. So the Hero, of course, is not for American investors, only for European. Interactive brokers is global and also for US investors. I hope you enjoyed this video. So thanks for watching, thanks for clicking on the links, and I'll see you in the next video.